ChatGPT has been in the news a lot recently, and for good reason. It's an incredible, accessible showcase of the current state of artificial intelligence. But however scary that might be to some, I saw this as an opportunity. As a YouTuber, there are certain aspects of video production that can take a long time. Sometimes days of research are required to ensure that the facts and details are correct. This in turn is crafted into a script which will be reworked and read through multiple times. So what if AI could take care of that? Could ChatGPT step up and become a production assistant, researcher and author by writing a complete script for me? Clearly the first thing I had to do was decide what to make a video about, and since this channel is primarily around retro gaming, it would need to fit into that niche. With that in mind, I logged into ChatGPT and got to work. Write a YouTube script titled The History of Retro Gaming. And, sure enough, the AI did as it was told. Good AI. And very quickly generated a short, concise script with a decent, if albeit superficial, take on the subject. It was very impressive, but I needed more. So then I asked ChatGPT to write a YouTube script about the most popular retro games. This, I thought, would hopefully give me more to work with, thinking that perhaps I could chop it around a little bit and make something more cohesive. But this time I was absolutely blown away. It delivered a structured 3-part list of retro games, segmenting arcade games from console, highlighting 16-bit classics, and it even suggested a video title. This would actually make a decent video, and it only took a few minutes to generate. It was at this point I started wondering, what if I gave ChatGPT just a little more direction? So I took one final shot. This was the big one, the pièce de résistance. Write a YouTube script called What is Retro Gaming? Cover popular games and systems from the 80s and 90s, and explain the different ways to play retro games in 2023, including emulation. It should include an intro, body and outro, humorous dialogue, as well as notes for suitable music and B-roll. Sure enough, in a few more moments it had finished. It was a good enough script, but was a little short, so I just asked ChatGPT to elaborate. Can you add more detail about classic games to the body? And with that, it once again set to work, rewriting the body text with more detail. This was it, the script I was going to present. It isn't in my tone of voice, lacking humour and nuance that I'd normally try to inject. And for some reason, it decided that my new channel name was Nostalgia Overdrive. But I'd set the task, laid out the rules, and I'm determined to see it through. So let's roll with that. Welcome to Nostalgia Overdrive. Hey there Pixel Pals, welcome back to another episode of Nostalgia Overdrive, the show where we dive into the world of retro gaming. Today we're going to explore what retro gaming actually means, check out some of the classic games and systems from the 80s and 90s, and look at how you can relive the magic today with a variety of methods, including emulation. So grab your quarters and let's get started. When we talk about retro gaming, what we're referring to are video games from the 80s and 90s that helped shape the industry as we know it. These games were played on classic consoles such as the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Sega Genesis, and the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, among others. Ah, the classics. Some of the most iconic games from the era include Super Mario Bros., which redefined platform gaming and introduced us to everyone's favourite Italian plumber. The Legend of Zelda, a groundbreaking action-adventure series that set the standard for open-world exploration. Sonic the Hedgehog, a high-speed platformer that helped put Sega on the map and spawned the famous Sega does what Nintendo don't slogan. And of course Street Fighter 2, which ignited the fighting game craze and paved the way for future titles like Mortal Kombat and Tekken. And we can't forget other gems like Metroid with its sprawling maps and the badass bounty hunter Samus Aran. Mega Man, the blue bomber that battled evil robots and stole their powers. Castlevania, a gothic action-adventure series where players battled Dracula and his minions. And Donkey Kong, the game that introduced us to both the titular gorilla and a certain mustachioed hero we now know as Mario. These games not only introduced us to memorable characters, but also created entire genres and inspired future developers. And, let's be honest, they were just plain fun. But enough reminiscing, let's talk about how you can play these games in 2023. One option is to go fully authentic, hunting down original hardware cartridges and even CRT TVs to get that genuine retro experience. But beware, this can be a bit of a rabbit hole and your wallet may not thank you for it. If you're looking for a more budget-friendly option, emulation is your friend. Emulation involves using software to replicate the original hardware, allowing you to play these retro games on modern devices like PCs, smartphones, and dedicated emulation consoles. You can use platforms like RetroArch or even a Raspberry Pi to create your own retro gaming paradise. Just be sure to follow the law when it comes to obtaining ROMs, and don't pirate games, folks. And of course, many game companies have been re-releasing their classic titles on modern consoles like the Nintendo Switch. This means you can enjoy your favourite retro games without the hassle of setting up old hardware or dealing with emulation. Well, there you have it. Whether you're a die-hard collector or just looking to relive some childhood memories, retro gaming has something for everyone. So dust off those old cartridges or fire up your emulator and let's get gaming. Well, that's it for today's episode of Nostalgia Overdrive. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all things retro gaming. Until next time, stay pixelated. Thanks for watching, fellow gamers. If you have any questions, comments, or just want to share your favourite retro gaming memories, drop them in the comments section below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're interested in more retro gaming content, check out these other awesome videos on our channel. Game on. And that's it. The video written by Chat GPT about retro games. How did you think it turned out? Is it a reasonable way to create content? Where do you think the technology is going? I don't know. It's crazy, isn't it? If there's any other video subjects you'd like to see ChatGPT take a crack at, I'd like to try some other things with it. So if you've got any ideas, let me know in the comments down there. Comment land. That was it. That's it. I'm done. Subscribe to my channel. It's New Retro Adventures, not Nostalgia Overdrive. That was ChatGPT's idea, not mine.